ladies and gentlemen. I remember telling y'all about the vacation that William and Kate took to the Caribbean, and they were protested for slave reparations. Well, Prince Edward is the youngest son of Queen Elizabeth, and his wife Sophie are planning a Caribbean trip. And guess what? Those folks are still protesting for their reparations. I guess it doesn't matter which set of royals you send, those folks want to be compensated for slavery. So nothing has changed just because you swapped out one set of royals for another. Let me go ahead and play this audio from Newsweek.
For royals to pay slavery reparations, Queen Elizabeth II's youngest son, Prince Edward, and his wife Sophie, Countess of Wessex, face a series of objections as they begin a tour of the Caribbean islands this week, with renewed calls for slavery reparations. The Royals tour celebrating the Queen's Platinum Jubilee follows Prince William and Kate Middleton's tour of Belize, Jamaica, and the Bahamas, which has been called a royal disaster and all offense, no charm, after a series of PR blunders occurred. The Cambridges faced protests at each stop of their tour from locals demanding that the royal family acknowledge their historic role in the transatlantic slave trade and seriously discuss the debated topic of reparations. Edward and Sophie Wessex begin their tour in St. Lucia on Friday and from there will make visits to St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Antigua and Barbuda before returning to Britain on April 28th. Originally, the couple's itinerary was to include a visit to the island of Grenada, but a statement released by Buckingham Palace on Thursday announced that, in consultation with the government of Grenada and on the advice of the Governor General, the Earl and Countess of Wessex's visit to Grenada has been postponed. The Earl and Countess hope to visit at a later date. No further explanation for the postponement has been offered by Buckingham Palace or by the government of Grenada, but the decision has generated disappointment among reparations activists in the country. Speaking to the Daily Telegraph, chairman of the Grenada National Reparations Committee, Arlie Gill, said, "We wrote to the Queen's Viceroy in Grenada, the Governor General, asking for an audience with him. We have not heard back yet. We want to discuss the subject of reparations. We wanted the royal couple to go back to the Queen and to let her know that Grenada is owed reparations by her family and Great Britain. They need to be aware that we want reparations for all that they have done in the past." These sentiments are echoed by the chairman of the Antigua and Barbuda Reparations Support Commission, Dorbrina Omard, who announced on a local talk radio show his intentions to present an open letter to the royals during their visit. Of the contents of the letter, Omard said, "Essentially, it supports the positions taken by other people as far as the issue of reparation is concerned." He said that the letter highlights the absence of an apology from the Crown both as family and as an institution for their role in the enslavement of African people in the slave trade and in the slavery of African people. The Wessex's tour is being made in celebration of the Queen's Platinum Jubilee as the monarch remains head of state in 8 Caribbean countries, despite them gaining independence from the Crown decades ago. William and Kate's tour in March highlighted Republican movements in the Caribbean following Barbados cutting ties with the British monarchy in 2021. During a meeting with the Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness, the Cambridges were told, "Jamaica is, as you would see, a country that is very proud of our history, very proud of what we have achieved, and we're moving on. And we intend to attain, in short order, our development goals and fulfill our true ambitions and destiny as an independent, developed, prosperous country." Growing discussions around republicanism as well as reparations prompted William to make 2 key statements during the course of his tour. At a reception in Jamaica, the prince said of slavery, "I want to express my profound sorrow. Slavery was a part, and it should never have happened. While the pain runs deep, Jamaica continues to forge its future with determination, courage, and fortitude." However, this expression of sorrow did not translate into the apology most were hoping for. In a statement released to Newsweek at the time, the Advocates Network described the comments as tone-deaf and accused the prince of whitewashing history. On the final evening of his Caribbean tour, in the Bahamas, William also made efforts to address the Republican sentiment in the countries he had visited. He said to the assembled crowd, "With Jamaica celebrating 60 years of independence this year, and Belize celebrating 40 years of independence last year, I want to say this. We support with pride and respect your decisions about your future. Relationships evolve. Friendship endures." The legacy of the Cambridges tour has been widely debated as the protests, a series of PR missteps, including poorly chosen photo opportunities accused of being colonial in tone, and the prince's comments have contributed to the royals re-evaluating how tours should be planned moving forward. though the Wessexes, as more junior members of the royal family, may draw less attention than the Cambridges. Their tour as familial representatives of the Queen is expected to provoke challenging discussions on each of their visits. Newsweek has reached out to Buckingham Palace for comment.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, these folks don't care. They want their reparations. You know, I guess they're all going to take their tour through the islands. I mean, what do you expect? Times have changed, attitudes have changed. I'm sure at one point in time, these royals could go to the Caribbean and get a lot of applause, and people wanted photo ops with them. And, it was some big thing for them to be in the Caribbean. But now, oh, those folks ain't happy to see you unless you're talking about reparations. And I don't blame them. You know, Years ago, you would not have heard this much talk about reparations as you do today. And it just goes to show you how far we have come. Yeah, we still got people out here that still have shackles on their minds, but there are a lot of people that don't. And they have moved beyond that and they want what is right, and it is right to give reparations, and it's wrong for you to say to us, oh well, like Elizabeth Warren and Joe Biden, oh well, if you want reparations, the natives must be included. Really? Or you can't have it by yourself. Well, weren't we out on them slave fields by ourselves? Okay. I mean, it's amazing how when it comes down to money, it has to be shared. But when it comes down to the oppression, I don't see a lot of sharing going on with that. Just a thought. So, y'all, I guess this is just not going to go over so well. So now, Prince Edward and Sophie, they are going to be touring St. Lucia, and then they're going to be going to St. Vincent, Antigua, Barbuda, and their tour will be on April 28th. Mm-mm-mm. So we shall see. If they have any footage of the protest, I'm definitely going to come back and do that story. But hey, this is what they're going to have to deal with from now on when you go to those islands where the royal family took heavy part in slavery. They were heavily into slave trade, and this is why they are sitting there as rich as they are today. The vast majority of their money came from the slave trade. And they hate hearing that. I'll get no, no. Their money came from the slave trade. They weren't even trying. When you go back in the history, this royal family was not even trying to hide the fact that they were heavily into slave trading. They didn't even try to hide it, and they were heavily responsible for colonizing too. So hey, you know, your past is coming to haunt you. These same people that think they don't have to pay for their father's sins, you're sure living through it now, aren't you? Especially this royal family. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.